What is up, Light Fam? Welcome to another video. My name is David, your spiritual awakening coach, here to help you through your spiritual awakening. Now, as you guys know, I have been focusing on the beneficial symptoms associated with the ascension process. So these are the ascension symptoms that are transformational and life-changing for your conscious awareness as it comes online and you begin to wake up from identifying as the ego. And one of the first things that begins to change in your life as you go through the ascension process is pretty much all of your relationships, whether they be romantic, family, friends, co-workers, or acquaintances, etc. They will change. And this can be a very uncomfortable and even scary ascension symptom because you feel like all of your relationships are falling apart and now there's all this upheaval, unrest, and drama. Well, that means you're doing it right, Light Fam. Now, why would I say something like that? Well, let me get into why this is actually a good thing right now. Let's go. Better relationships is one of the best ascension symptoms. How can that be if I just said that all of your relationships begin to fall apart after you go through the ascension process? Well, it's a purging process. Purging is a main aspect of the ascension process. So you're basically purging all of the relationships that are out of alignment with your new higher level of conscious awareness. What does that mean? It means as your conscious awareness rises, your authentic truth begins to shine through in your words, your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs, and of course, and this is where the magic happens, your boundaries. So there's now a high level of vibrational dissonance with all the people that are still stuck at that old level of spiritual evolution that you just graduated from. That partner that is used to stepping over your boundaries is upset that they can no longer take advantage of you, manipulate, and abuse you. Those low vibrational friends are upset that you're no longer enabling their pity party or joining in on the gossip about so-and-so or agreeing with their negative and defeatist outlook on life. Or your family is upset that you no longer believe in their limited, fear-based, dogmatic religion. Well, congratulations, you're breaking out of the matrix. And what does breaking out of the matrix mean? It means you're building your life to order on the truth that resonates with your soul. And since your conscious awareness has evolved, these truths of the soul are more in alignment with happiness, freedom, endless possibilities, and love, which is out of alignment with fear and small-mindedness, which is why those old relationships are falling apart. Your old relationships are falling apart because your newfound spirit of freedom irritates the spirit of those that are still enslaved by fear. So they are irritated because they too know that they should be leaving behind the various constructs of fear that they cling to, which keep them small. They're irritated because they don't believe that they have the same strength and courage that you're now exhibiting out of nowhere all of a sudden, and so they lash back at you through judgment, hoping that their judgment and disapproval will keep you in the crab pot with them so that you both can boil together. So this is why I said if your relationships are falling apart with all the people that you no longer resonate with, then you are doing it right, because that means that you're living more from the heart space where your authentic truth and your authentic identity, which is out of alignment with fear, actually lives. And you're fearlessly allowing that authentic soul truth to shine through in your life. The ascension symptom of better relationships is a great measuring stick for your spiritual evolution. Why? Because it's our relationships that tell us to what degree we are identifying as the ego. Remember, the ego is aligned with fear. So the more that you operate from the perspective of the ego, the more that you need outside validation and approval, the more needy you are, the more you people please, the more you need to control others' actions, the more your happiness and even self-worth is tied to outcomes, expectations, and other people's behavior. This means that those relationships that are built from the ego's perspective are going to be very tumultuous. However, the more spiritually evolved you are, spiritually evolved meaning the level to which you disidentify as the ego, those relationships are going to be much more harmonious because those relationships were built from the perspective of your authentic truth, the truth that resonates with your soul, and your soul can never be wrong. If you want to gauge if you are evolving spiritually, and again, spiritually is stepping into greater alignment with your true self-worth, self-love, and divinity, take a look at your past relationships. So take a look at a relationship from 5 or 2 years ago, or even maybe 1 year or 6 months ago, depending on how fast you are spiritually evolving. And when you think about that person from your past, if the thought, I'm just not that person anymore, pops into your head, then you are growing spiritually. I have a lot of people that come to me for twin flame coaching. And once I raise their level of self-worth, self-love, and give them a greater understanding of self-divinity, all of a sudden their twin flame magically pops back up in their life. But then a lot of my clients are like, I'm just not that same person anymore. Of course you're not, because who you were when you met your twin flame was coming from the perspective of your shadow. It's your shadow that called in your twin flame. You see, your higher self knows exactly when it is time for you to wake up, have a spiritual awakening, and heal your shadow. So your higher self calls in your twin flame to give you a spiritual awakening, and then it forces you to heal your shadow. Well, heal the shadow and your identity changes. And that new identity is most likely going to be out of alignment with the old identity that attracted your twin flame in the first place. Now, for all of the die-hard obsessive twin flamers out there, before you get upset, this doesn't mean that once you heal your shadow, you can't ride off into the sunset with your twin flame, because your twin flame may evolve spiritually right along with you. But what it does mean is that once you step into alignment with your true identity as source consciousness, you will now attract in a love that is fulfilling and rewarding for your highest good, which may or may not be your twin flame. If your current relationships are falling apart because you're having a spiritual awakening, just remember that as long as you are following your authentic truth, then your actions are going to be in alignment with the highest good for those relationships, whether they stay in your life or not. Why? Well, because maybe you give that person the courage to step away from fear. You encourage them to start changing those limiting beliefs, or you inspire them to chase after a dream that they were too scared to chase after previously. Or maybe you teach them how to treat that person in that next relationship so that they actually can keep love in their life. Your candle might light their candle without you even knowing it. And if it doesn't, that's okay. If they decide to stay stagnant, imprisoned by those fear-based limiting beliefs, just understand that they are where they are supposed to be perfectly, because they chose what they wanted to experience before they decided to incarnate. And take solace in the fact that they will have a much deeper respect and admiration for you, even though their ego is going to be so frustrated that they just can't get you to conform to their way of thinking, or the ego is frustrated because they can't control and manipulate or even abuse you the way they once did. On a soul level, they will have a much higher level of respect and admiration for you now, because they know that you took the path of courage and strength. Better relationships are one of the best ascension symptoms, because the universe will replace those old out of alignment relationships with new relationships that are a vibrational match to your new higher level of conscious awareness. Like attracts like fam. So don't mourn those old stagnant relationships. The universe will always bring you your vibe tribe. Why? Because the universe operates through energy, frequency, and vibration. So your new level of conscious awareness will attract in the relationships that will lift you up and keep you spiritually evolving. Now, question of the day. How Have your relationships been affected by your spiritual awakening? Ooh, that is a juicy one, like fam. Let's hear all of your juicy experiences in the comments below. If you do want to work with me so that you can attract a relationship that is in alignment with your true self-worth, self-love, and divinity, we can work one-on-one through Zoom. Check the description below. We got a few different options for you. If you have a question for me, add me over on Instagram _Lightways. I do get a lot of my video ideas from you guys over there. And I think that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Light, love, and abundance to all that are watching and to all you love. Peace, guys.